Reddapod squad. This is Reddapod, coach of the Hudson Hydreigons, coming to you with week one of the Side Quest League Draft Doubles League. So this league is set up to essentially mimic VGC, but in a draft league format. We have 8 roster slots, where each week you'll bring 6 of your mons, and then obviously in the battles you'll choose 4 of them. So week one, we are going up against Bruno and the Memphis Maniacs. He was actually able to draft a full-blown proper Sun team with Torkoal, Venusaur, and Charizard all being on that team. Not a great matchup for our team. This week we brought Indeedee Male, Primarina, Snorlax, Rotom Heat, Dusknoir, and a Sableye. And we'll see what our opponent brings, but not too optimistic about this one. But, you know, there's a will, there's a way. So we'll see if we're able to eke this one out. The opponent also has Zoroark, which I spent a lot of time prepping for in the weeks leading up to this matchup, or week one matchup, because I was just expecting some type of head game with the Zoroark. But we could see that the opponent actually didn't bring Zoroark, so I may have over-prepped a little bit for that. But I think in game one we will see the Torkoal Venusaur lead. So I'm actually going to lead Indeedee and Sableye here. Now, Sableye has a difficult time being successful on Psychic Terrain. However, Sableye has access to Rain Dance. So if we can set up the Rain and then let off an Expanding Force, if we do see a Venusaur come out, hopefully we one-shot it with the Psychic Terrain Expanding Force, and that would put us in pretty good position. We have Primarina to deal with the fire types. If we're able to get Venusaur out of there, Primarina can probably be pretty safe. And then we bring Rotom, because if we do end up in a scenario where in the sun, that Overheat will do some damage. Alright, so we do see the Torkoal Venusaur lead. Double shiny from our opponent. And again, we bring out the Indeedee Male and the Sableye. And all of my mons are named after peppers. I'm a bit of a hot sauce fan, so that's the name theme you'll see throughout this season for this team. So we stick to our plan. I should outspeed the Venusaur once I cut its speed with Rain Dance. And we're waiting to see what the opponent does. I'm worried about a Dynamax here from the Venusaur. Maybe a bit early in the game to hit that Dynamax button, but you never know. VGC moves pretty fast, and it's not uncommon to see a turn 1 Dynamax just to get some immediate momentum. But we don't see that. We see a Protect from the Torkoal, and the Rain Dance goes up. So now this cuts Venusaur's speed in half, and it significantly weakens the Torkoal. And now Venusaur goes next. So I was expecting to outspeed here, but I must have had the wrong stat spread here, which is really unfortunate because that does not help us in the rest of the match. This is best 2 of 3, so that's kind of unfortunate if we do end up having a similar lead down the line. And the Venusaur's Focus Sash, which really neat tech from Bruno. I did not expect that at all. I expected Wide Lens and some Sleep Powder shenanigans, but that was really, really clever of my opponent to run Focus Sash on the Venusaur. So that's frustrating, and now that Venusaur outspeeds me still, so I'm not really sure what to do. The Sableye is now essentially useless because we're on Psychic Terrain. I really kind of went all in on this Expanding Force one-shotting, and this is a critical mistake throughout the rest of this game. The Indeedee goes down from the Venusaur, and we don't really have great options as far as what goes in Indeedee's place. The Rain is up. Rotom's alright. Can't really do too much damage to either of these grass types out here right now. So we go with we go with the Primarina, which also not great going up against 2 grass types. So I'm not really sure what I should do here. So I just kind of go for it. Or I think about it. I think I'm thinking back and forth what to do. I don't really have a great option here. As you can see, I'm kind of panicking in my move choice. Just trying to figure out what to target. Do I Dynamax? Do I not Dynamax? I must have gone back and forth, I think, 8 times at this point. We go with the Moonblast into the Venusaur just to get it out of there. And again, Sableye, pretty much useless. I'm just clicking moves. I didn't check how many turns of Psychic Terrain we had. I think we're on the 3rd turn, so the Sableye is still useless. I mean, this is a hard lesson to learn that, you know, I shouldn't have gone so hard on one particular strat. Because now this Sableye is just kind of sitting there. It doesn't do anything for me. And the Power Whip comes out from the Dhelmise, which, as you can see, Fresno has a bad time. So our only option now is to send out Rotom in the rain. And the Torkoal comes back out though and overwrites the rain. So, I mean, that's pretty helpful for us, at least for the Rotom. So I'm pretty much up against the wall here. So we're gonna Dynamax the Rotom. I mean, we're definitely not Dynamaxing the Sableye. That's not gonna do anything for us. And I mean, I don't want to Rain Dance here because I don't want to overwrite, or I don't want to weaken my Rotom. So I mean, we just click one of our moves that won't do anything because of Psychic Terrain. So our Rotom is Dynamaxed. Hopefully we can get some momentum in our favor here. Again, Quash is not going to do anything. Max Flare though, hopefully this takes down the Dhelmise. And it does. Alright, so that's 2 Mons down on our opponent's side of the field. The Body Press doesn't do too much, so that's pretty helpful. So maybe somehow, some way we can squeeze a win out of this, but our opponent still has Dynamax on their side, and they send in the Galarian Slowbro. Again, or still rather, well, again and still, the Sableye is useless. So if we use a move that targets our opponent. So I actually click Rain Dance here, trying to weaken the Torkoal. But I realized shortly after I click Rain Dance that although the Galarian Slowbro is not a water type, I'm sure it learns some type of water move. So this may be a bad move right here, especially with Quick Claw and Quick Draw on the Slowbro. So although we outspeed in theory, that stacking combination of the ability and the item, this Slowbro is going first a lot of the time. And our little prankster is going to set up Rain Dance. Again, maybe being overly cautious about the Torkoal, trying to weaken it further, but we just saw it use Body Press. We should have remembered that was probably the strat on that Mon, and we just set up Rain for the Slowbro to use Max Geyser into our Rotom. So we lost that one. Because it's Sableye, as you can see, can't do anything. Kind of frustrating. The Solar Beam at least won't hit us because of the rain. But now we just kind of have to sit here and watch Sableye go down with no real ability to do anything. I just click Rain Dance again because I literally cannot damage my opponents. Quick draw, back to back. I mean, it doesn't matter. Max Geyser in the rain and not 100% HP. There's no way. So there goes Sableye. Good game to my opponent. I mean, they brought really good mons. The Delmise was slick. Really good counter against the Primarina if the other grass type goes down. And then the Slowbro 2 counters the Primarina as well. So just really great Pokemon selection on my opponent's part and well played. So they win game 1, but this is best 2 out of 3, so there's still hope. There's still a way for us to walk out of week 1 with a victory. But we know now we probably should not. If we can avoid it, we should have. We should not put Indeedee and Sableye on the field at the same time. You know, I knew that going into the match, but sometimes there's like a cool tech that you're hoping your opponent won't expect, and you just kind of want to go for it. That did not work out so great. So this time we'll lead the Rotom and the Sableye. And we'll bring Dusknoir as our Trick Room setter as well, and we'll also bring Poblano the Snorlax. So this time we leave the Indeedee and the Primarina. I think the Steel, I probably shouldn't have brought it the first time. Steel from the Corviknight, Poison from the Slowbro, 2 Grass Mons. I don't really know what I was thinking with that in retrospect, but it's okay. You live and you learn. Yeah, and I don't think we can bring Indeedee and Sableye together. That was just not a winning combination. So our opponent has selected his 4, so we will roll right into game 2. And this time Bruno leads the Torkoal and the Charizard. We have the Rotom and the Sableye out here. And the sun goes up. So Rotom's stronger, but I mean, both of these are fire types. We're not really going to be able to take too much advantage of that overheat. We're having to think here what to do. A little bit of panic after losing that first game so badly. But we go with the Volt Switch and we go with Rain Dance. So we're going to immediately weaken our opponent's side of the field. And we will Volt Switch, hopefully get some solid damage off. The Charizard runs Belly Drum though, which I did not expect at all. I mean, that's kind of clever. I've never seen that before, but thankfully the Volt Switch takes it down in one turn. Yeah, it's tough for my opponent eating the Volt Switch like that, so off to a much better start than we were last game. And then we bring out Jalokia, the Dusknoir, and the Body Press comes out, but being Ghost type, it does not affect us. Jalokia, named after the Naga Jalokia, also known as the Ghost Pepper. I thought it was a little clever pun there. Some of you may be rolling your eyes, but you're wrong to do so. Alright, so we see the Galarian Slowbro come back out. And we have good moves this week. We brought Fire Punch to counter against the Corviknight, and then the other moves, we have Rock Slide to counter against the fire types. We have Poltergeist as well, just for insanely strong stab. So Torkoal is going to use Protect, try and stay alive as much as it can. And Quash goes, and this is actually something I learned. So although Slowbro gets the Quick Draw, it's still forced to go at the end of the turn. So Quash overrides that. So that's something I learned this match, which was nice. And we see Surf come out in the rain into both of our mons. Thankfully, it doesn't do too much damage. And Trick Room's been set up, so our Dusknoir can actually take advantage of this swap in the speeds here. And in Trick Room, Quash is still useful. And we see again the Quick Claw procs for our opponent, and the Torkoal switches out, probably to bring it back in and get the sun back up for that side of the field. So we quash the Slowbro, so that Quick Claw does not do anything. It's actually really convenient that that's the case. So Poltergeist comes out and it OHKOs the Slowbro. So now we still have all 4 of our mons, and that's 2 down on our opponent's side of the field. So again, going much better than our last match. So the Torkoal will come out, and it will overwrite that that rain. And we have the Corviknight off to the side there. We think about going for the flinch there, but I'd rather just take down the Corviknight, the Corviknight. And we're going to quash the Torkoal since we're still in Trick Room. We do not want that Torkoal going ahead of us, so we will get off that Fire Punch into the Corviknight. And it does, I'd say, close to 60-65% damage. And Corviknight uses Taunt into the Sableye, rendering it pretty much useless. And Torkoal will use Heat Wave here. That does a lot of damage, but both mons are able to hold on, which surprised me when this happened. Heat Wave and the Sun, I can't believe both of them survived. So this time, the Sableye is useless, so we want to get it out of there and bring it back in if we can, but we decide against it, or at least we try to decide against it, and we'd rather just sack the Sableye. So we use Fake Out. We just don't want to take damage on our other 2 mons. So we'll let the Heat Wave happen, take us both down. We're still in the Trick Room, so maybe that Snorlax can get some things going for it. It may have been better to switch out there, because this Corviknight is now pretty much back to full health, so now it's 2-on-2. So our lead has been erased in this match. Corviknight's back up to full health. I think the Torkoal's still at full health. So now we have Rotom and our Snorlax coming in. So we're just checking how many turns of Trick Room we have left. We have 1 left. And we're weighing our options here. The Overheat is a nice option into the Corviknight. However, we would see a special attack drop from doing so. But I guess I decided to go with it anyway. We see Body Press come out into the Snorlax and do a lot of damage. It's probably 65-70%. The Snorlax will eat its Figgy Berry. And we'll let off a Rock Slide here. I mean, hopefully we'll get a flinch And we do get the flinch into the Corviknight, which was huge for us. And the overheat missed, which, I mean, may have been good for us. It may have been a mistake to even go for overheat. But for some reason I went for it again. Here we're weighing our options with the Gigantamax Snorlax. We could let off of Max Rockfall or Max Quake. But we go back and we decide to Dynamax the Rotom, and that was probably a much better move than just going for Overheat and again dropping our special attack. You know, we're out of Trick Room, we will go first, so maybe we can get that Corviknight off the board. You know, thank God I decided to go all the way back. Didn't make the same mistake twice. So Rotom comes out. Again, Dynamaxed in this game. And our opponent will Dynamax as well. And we see the Corviknight come out. And this is the Gigantamax variant. And I mean, what a cool looking mon. The silver and yellow is awesome. Throw Max Flare into the Corviknight, and thankfully this one-shots. Oh man, that could have been bad if it did not. So we will take down that Corviknight. Very thankful that that worked. And the Snorlax will use Rock Slide, doing some damage to the Torkoal, not a ton. But we get the flinch. Really good luck there. And now we have options against the Torkoal. We'll go with the Max Darkness here. And the Snorlax thankfully just outspeeds the Torkoal outside of Trick Room. And the Torkoal will protect. So we won't do a ton of damage here. Trying to stall out our Dynamax. So Max Darkness comes out, gets some damage off behind the Protect. And we see a special defense drop, trying to set our Rotom up for success if we're not able to, you know, if we lose the Snorlax to a body press and it comes down to a 1v1 between the Rotom and the Torkoal. So now we're just going for damage here. Max Lightning into the Torkoal, and it takes care of that. So the series is 1-1, so this will go to a tiebreaker third match. Didn't play great on my side this time, but thankfully was able to, you know, eke out a win there. So it's 1-1, and we will play a third match. So the tough thing that I think about best of 3 formats is trying to figure out, you know, which 4 to bring from game to game. So this next match, I consider a lead that I had not gone with. I consider bringing, if I recall correctly, I was thinking about a Sableye Dusknoir lead, just because I haven't used that yet. And I was thinking, maybe my opponent won't set up Sun again. That might be more helpful. And that's one of the major challenges, is trying to get inside your opponent's head, think, okay, they lost. Why did they lose that last one? What adjustments are they going to make going into Game 3? So you can see here, I'm taking a long time to kind of even think about what my lead's going to be. And I consider, again, the Sableye Dusknoir. We really have a hard think about it. But we decide to go with the Sableye Rotom again. Which, I mean, our opponent's seen it. We bring the same 4, same lead. Our opponent's seen it. Hopefully this works out for us, but it may have been better to bring the Dusk Noir. But we'll see how it shakes out. Alright, so Bruno leads the Delmise and the Slowbro this time. So we are not seeing the Sun lead like we were. So great adjustment for my opponent. Really nice job. So he's sending 2 mons into a lead that he's seen before. He knows what we have as far as our moveset goes. And here, we're trying to think what to do with this Rotom. We could try and let off some super effective damage into the Slowbro or the Delmise. And our opponent, he's going to Dynamax. Let's see what it is. It is a Slowbro once again, and we know this thing has Max Geyser. So this is potentially going to be a bad time. Because it can set the rain up for itself. But we'll quash it. That thing's going last, just to cover for the Quick Draw, Quick Claw. And instead of going for super effective damage into the Delmise or the Slowbro, we will Volt Switch out of there. And we'll bring in the Dusk Noir, so we can hopefully get Trick Room up and let our Dusk Noir and Snorlax go to work again. We see there's a Colbur Berry on the Delmise. And Delmise gets Poltergeist, which, you know, I don't go up against a lot of Delmise. I probably could have done my homework a little bit better going into this match. Didn't know it got Poltergeist, or wasn't obvious to me. Because it's honestly hard for me to keep track of the typing of that mon. I always think it's Grass Steel, and I think it's Ghost Steel. It's Ghost Grass, I believe. I mean, if I'm wrong on this video, I mean, that just shows how confused I am about it. But yeah, so Poltergeist into Sableye. Not a good time. And we do see the Max Geyser come out from the Slowbro. So we let Poblano out. And we're going to Dynamax the not Slowbro, wow. We're going to Dynamax the Snorlax here. And we're going to Max Quake into the Slowbro as well. Hopefully get some solid super effective damage there. And here I'm thinking about what to do. I mean, do I go for the Trick Room? That thing can Poltergeist and destroy me. Probably kill what's left of my Dusk Noir. And I'm thinking, you know what? If I live this, I just want to do it right back rather than set up the Trick Room. Hopefully get that Delmise out of there. So we Gigantamax the Snorlax. And the Delmise outspeeds both of my mons that are on the field. And the Poltergeist comes out and it takes our Dusknoir down. So we're not in great shape here. Snorlax will let off the Max Quake into the Slowbro. And we see the Max Ooze come out. And thankfully, we eat that like a champ. But we'll see a special attack increase on both of the opponent's mons. So we'll go into Rotom in the rain. I mean, it's not ideal. It's not what you want. But we do have some moves that can take care of what's in front of us. So we'll let off another Max Quake. And we will go for the Dark Pulse into the Delmise, hopefully getting that off the field. And here comes the Quick Claw. Max Geyser comes out. I mean, this was a bad time for it to activate this game. In the rain, Max Geyser, Rotom is not surviving that. So that went really poorly for us. Power Whiff comes out, doing a good chunk of damage on our Snorlax. And we will retaliate with a Max Quake into the Slowbro. And we are able to remove that from the field. So we are down to our last Mon. The Delmise appeared, or turns out to be, a bigger threat than we had anticipated at the start of this game 3 here. And now we'll see what one of the other 2 Pokemon that my opponent brought are. And he sends out the Charizard, which makes me think that the other Mon he brought is potentially the Torkoal, but we won't know for sure unless I'm able to get through this. Thankfully, we have Max Rockfall on the Snorlax, so if we can survive another hit, or actually 2 hits, because both of these Mons will outspeed the Snorlax. If we can survive both of these, we should be in good shape. We see the Blast Burn come out from the Snorlax. In the rain, it's not going to do a whole lot. Delmise says Steel Roller, but there's no terrain. I think this is just because the other moves are all ghost moves and would not affect the Snorlax. So we see the Steel Roller come out to no avail. Oh, but we did see Power Whip, actually. So I don't know why my opponent didn't go for Power Whip. But, I mean, our Snorlax has a decent amount of health, and we're going up against 2 of our opponent's Mons. This is still winnable. We actually see the Venusaur. It's not the Torkoal at all. The Torkoal had Body Press, so that may be better for us that Bruno did not bring the Torkoal to this last game. And we have a think here about what to do. Do we want to go for high horsepower? Do we want to go for Rock Slide? Do we want to go for Double Edge? It's a tough decision being in a 1v2 like this. We know that the Delmise has Power Whip and will probably get some decent damage off on us. So maybe we just want to try and take one of these Mons out as quickly as possible. So we do go with the Double Edge into the Venusaur. It's stab, it's strong. Sludge Bomb comes out, doesn't do much at all, but unfortunately we are poisoned. And another Steel Roller, which fails. Not quite sure why this was the move. But we'll Double Edge in the Venusaur, and we'll take a decent amount of recoil damage. So between the recoil, the Sandstorm, the poison, I don't think we're going to hold on too much longer, especially because both these Mons outspeed us. They're down to 50 HP here. It's not looking great. So we click the high horsepower into Venusaur. Venusaur uses the Leaf Storm, and this will take Snorlax out of action. So, unfortunately, we lose week 1 to our opponent. It went to 3, which I'm happy about, but you know, it's always hard losing that first match of the season. But good game to Bruno. He played really well. He brought some good Mons. That team's scary. I mean, it's a full Sun team. Like, it's a proper Sun team in Draft League format. So it's going to be tough to contend with no matter who you are. I expect them to do well this season. And hopefully we can turn it around. There's a lot more games to be played. And hopefully we have some more success in the Double League than we did this week. And we learned an important lesson. Don't put Sableye and DD out there at the same time. I don't know what I was thinking. But yeah, thanks for watching the video. Check out my singles Draft League videos in the Trico Pokemon League, the TPL, also on this channel. And look out for more doubles and singles Pokemon content over the next few weeks. But until then, take care.